Today, we're going to dissect something you and I see almost every single day, an online product page. We're going to peel back all the layers, the marketing, the hard data, and of course, the real-world feedback to really understand the full story behind a single item. So let's jump right in. You know the feeling. You're just trying to find a simple tote bag, and bam, you're hit with this wall of photos, specs, special deals, and literally thousands of reviews. It's a lot. So to make sense of it all, we're going to use this one page for a pretty popular tote bag as our little case study and just break it down piece by piece. Okay, first up, let's talk about the most obvious layer, the official story. Think of this as the product's highlight reel, It's been carefully crafted by the seller, and it's really designed to make you fall in love with the idea of the product before you even think about the practical stuff. So here you can see the main selling points, but notice the language they're using: chic, tip-proof, luxurious. These words aren't just describing the bag. They're selling a lifestyle, right? This is the product's perfect self, presented as the solution for your life, whether you're off to the beach, the office, or just running errands. This quote right here, pulled straight from the product description, is a perfect example. See, it's not about what the bag does, it's about how it makes you feel. It's selling you on the idea of being the kind of person who owns a stunning statement piece. This is pure persuasion, plain and simple. All right, so let's cut through that glossy marketing layer. What's really underneath all that? Now we're getting to the hard data, the objective, measurable facts about the product, with all of that emotional language completely stripped away. And here it is. The bag isn't just luxurious. It's made of TPU, polyester, and PVC. It's not just large capacity. It's exactly 17 by 8 by 12 inches. This is the stuff you use to actually compare products side by side. This is the truth, just without the story wrapped around it. But what's really fascinating is how a hard fact like this can also be an incredibly powerful marketing tool. This isn't some emotional claim, it's a verifiable sales rank. But seeing #1 bestseller, well, that gives you a huge sense of security. It taps right into our need to feel like we're making a popular, validated choice. And now we get to what I think is the most important layer of all, the customer's verdict. This is where the product's official story really meets the real world. We've got over 1,000 people here who have shared their unfiltered experiences. And this is almost always where you find the most important details. So we start with the big headline number: 4.7 stars from well over 1,100 ratings. Right off the bat, that's an overwhelmingly positive impression. It tells us that for most people who bought this, the product really delivers. But of course, the real story is always in the details. Let's break that down a bit. A massive 89% of reviewers gave it a perfect 5-star rating. Think about that. This isn't just a good score, it's a total landslide. The consensus here is incredibly strong, and that's a powerful signal of quality. And the site's AI even gives us a little peek into what people are actually talking about in those reviews. Appearance and quality are the clear winners, which tells us that the way the bag looks and how sturdy it is are its most talked about features. But notice that value for money is a big topic too. We're going to come back to that one. So does all that marketing actually hold up? Well, in a lot of cases, yeah, it does. The seller pitched a tip-proof design, and right here a customer confirms this is a very sturdy bag. This is where user reviews act as a fact check, confirming the seller's claims are actually based in reality. But here's what's truly crucial. It's what the official story conveniently leaves out. This review praises the bag's beauty, which backs up the marketing, but then adds 2 critical pieces of information: no internal pockets, and it scratches easily. These are potential deal breakers that you would never, ever learn from the seller. Here is another perfect example of that. This user is happy with the bag, but points out a major limitation for a very specific situation: air travel. The product page actually lists travel as a recommended use, but this reviewer provides that essential context that the seller just omits. And hey, remember that value for money topic we mentioned? Well, here you can see that debate playing out in real time. One customer says it's certainly worth the money, while another says it's definitely overpriced. This shows you the most subjective part of the product, where everyone's personal expectations and budget just collide. So, we've peeled back all the layers: the marketing story, the hard facts, and the all-important customer verdict. So what's the big takeaway here? Well, it's a simple framework that you can use for pretty much any online purchase you make. The process is actually pretty simple. First, read the story the seller is trying to tell you. Second, check the objective specs to ground that story in reality. And third, and this is the most important part, consult the customer verdict to find all those hidden details to validate the claims and really understand the real-world experience. Only then can you make a truly informed choice. You see, a product page isn't just a simple listing. It's a collection of all these competing stories. And by knowing how to read each one, you go from being just a passive consumer to an active investigator. So the real question is, what story will you uncover next?